In today's video, we're going to talk about, can you save your marriage if you're doing no contact or she's got you blocked? Like she had me blocked. Is it possible?
It is.
Maybe. So, how do you make her mad? How do you ruin her story? How do you pique her interest? And how do you reestablish an open communication? That's the million-dollar question. You just got to be coachable. Guys, if you haven't already done so, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel if you're facing an unwanted divorce or a separation forever. And if you are new to the channel and you don't already know who I am, my name is Griffin, and joining me today is my beautiful wife,
Brandy Griffin.
And I help men who are facing an unwanted divorce or a separation restore their marriage by rebuilding communication and intimacy, even when your wife has no interest in saving the marriage. For those of you that have already subscribed to this channel, thank you for doing that. For those of you that have not done that yet, the reason that you should is because on a weekly basis, we're providing bonus content and we're only doing that for our subscribers. If you're facing an unwanted divorce or separation forever, do yourself a favor by not only hitting the subscribe button right now, go ahead and click the notification button and change the settings to all so you take advantage of our subscriber-only content.
So do us a favor and please subscribe right now.
It's the law of reciprocity. As much as we appreciate that, we also believe that it's going to come back and it'll contribute to what you're trying to do in your own marriage. And you're going to hear my perspective of what I went through when she was divorcing me, but also you're going to hear her perspective on what she was thinking as we were going through the process. So as I'm giving you the advice on what I did to restore my marriage,
and you'll understand my perspective on what he did and why it worked.
So today, first I'm going to start by giving you 4 things that you're going to need to do if you are currently doing no contact or she's got you blocked. And then I'm going to explain, and she's going to explain, why these things work and how to actually make sure you're doing them the right way. So item number 1 is you're going to have to make her mad right now if you're doing no contact, or especially if she has you blocked. You're probably going to have to piss her off in order to get the communication going. And if you've been doing that stupid no contact thing, this is how you get out of it and get the ball rolling again, because that never works if you're in a long-term relationship that's failing. If you're a freshman in college, of course that's going to work, but that's not who we're here to serve. So if that's you, get off this video. You're in the wrong place. But if you've been in a long-term relationship or a marriage and you have assets together, you have children together, you have a home together, mortgages, cars, anything that comes from a long-term relationship or marriage, you are in the right place. You're going to have to make her mad, just like I pissed her off, which is something that would never have restored my marriage if I hadn't have done that. But you've got to do it in a way that makes sense through knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. So just pissing her off is not the goal, but pissing her off the right way is something that's going to be required most often if she's got you blocked or you're doing no contact. Something else, the story that she's telling herself about you and the marriage and the relationship is something that I call confirmation bias. Not all of your lovers have confirmation bias, but for a lot of you, she does. And if that's where you're at, you're going to have to ruin the story that she's telling herself. Whatever, what do you mean by that? A lot of you thinking, well, I've got to become the best version of myself if I want my marriage restored. I've got to go change. I've got to go do everything differently. All the stuff that she told me of the reasons she wants out of the marriage, I've got to go change those things. If you've already done all of that, but it hasn't worked, put that in the comments if that's you. Have you become the man that she said she's always wanted, but it's not enough? Maybe you were an alcoholic. Maybe you were a controlling narcissist. Maybe you were a psychopath. Maybe you were verbally abusive. Maybe you weren't intimate with her. Maybe you didn't value her opinion. But now all of a sudden, you do all of those things, but it still hasn't worked. Here's the question. Put in the comments if you have realized that that's not enough. You changing is a beautiful thing, and that's probably a requirement.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be enough to save the marriage if she has confirmation bias.
Yeah.
You've got to lead her to change. If I hadn't have also led her to change, we wouldn't be married today because she filed a divorce. So how do you change a woman? You ruin her story. Later in the video, I'm going to explain how you ruin her story. But what I'm talking about when I say ruin her story is the bias she has against you subconsciously or even consciously, against you and or the marriage. You've got to ruin that story. That changes her. For a lot of you, that bias is projected bias. You're paying the price. Your marriage is paying the price. She's even paying the price from something that happened that another man did. Maybe it was her father, maybe it was an ex-husband, maybe it was an old boyfriend, maybe it was her high school gym teacher. I don't know. But you're paying the price in your marriage of things that other men did before you and some of the things that you did yourself that you can change, but it's not enough. You've got to change her. The next thing is pique her interest. Put in the comments right now if your wife has zero interest in you or the relationship. Put that in the comments right now. You're like, she walked out on a 3-year marriage. She walked out on a 20-year marriage. And you're asking yourself, did this woman ever even love me? When you left, I actually had thoughts. Did this woman ever even love me?
Yeah.
Now, I know you did. I know at one point you thought of me as like your soulmate, your happy ever after,
Yep.
your knight in shining armor.
Forever love.
And it was real. And I started even thinking, well, did she just marry me for the money? And then I started going back and remembering like, wow, on our first date, I told her I was broke.
And you were.
I look rich. I had a big freaking mansion, had a Beamer in the driveway, but I qualified for food stamps. So I know she didn't marry me for the money. But put in the comments, all jokes aside, and I'm literally being serious when I say this, put in the comments if you're actually wondering, did she ever love me? Was it ever real? Is it worth fighting for? Because it's appearing like, how could somebody actually have ever loved me if they can make it look so easy to walk out the door? So part of what's going to be required, if you want the marriage restored, this is what I mean when I say you've got to change her. If you don't pique her interest in you, and for some of you, you don't know how that's possible because you're thinking, did she ever love me? Because it looks like she doesn't give a rat's booty right now because her actions are showing that she literally could care less if I died. Put that in the comments if that's you. So the fourth thing is you've got to reestablish an open communication. Now, that means no contact doesn't work.
No.
So the question here is, can you save the marriage if you're doing no contact or you're blocked? And so the answer is yes and no. If you don't have any communication, you won't have a marriage. So you cannot save the marriage if there's no contact, if there's no communication. But the reason I said yes and no is because a lot of times you can restore the communication and start communicating again, but a lot of you just don't know how to do that because you're blocked. Put that in the comments if that's you. If you're blocked and you don't know how to get unblocked, because I was blocked. She blocked me, and for the life of me, I did not know how the hell do I get her to start communicating with me when I'm blocked. I had an iPhone, she had an iPhone, and when I would send the message, it would be green instead of blue because it wasn't delivering, because she wasn't getting it. So if that's you, put that in the comments, and here's the thing. In order for the marriage to be restored, she's going to have to change. One of the ways she's going to have to change is she's going to have to unblock you. In today's video, we're going to give you some pointers and some tips on some things that you can do to get her to unblock you, to make her curious about you to the point that she kind of starts stalking you and unblocking you to the point that she can receive your messages. So put this in the comments if you're blocked. If you're currently in an order of protection, meaning she has a no contact order, meaning she went to the courthouse or the police station and she told them that you're verbally or physically abusive and she's terrified for her life, and so there's a court order that says you can't contact her. Put in the comments if the court has said you can only communicate through this bull crap app that they have, where you can only go through this court-ordered app and then only if it's about the children. Put in the comments if you've listened to some freaking moron on YouTube that's never been married. He's not wearing a wedding ring, so how could he possibly know how to restore a fucking marriage?
No.
Okay, but put in the comments if you're doing what that guy's telling you, which is making you feel good about yourself. You're not suicidal anymore.
But you're getting nowhere with your partner.
And you're feeling good about yourself. You're feeling like your manhood grew 2 inches because you don't want to kill yourself anymore. But
you're not making any progress.
Not in the marriage.
Yeah.
You might be making
with
progress.
yourself, yes.
Making progress, feeling good about yourself.
Yeah.
But what the hell does that matter?
Well, it ends in a dead end.
It ends in a dead end concerning the relationship.
Because
and here's
you feel all great, and then you're like, well, I'm still not accomplishing the goal.
And guess what? If you continue on that path, you will get a divorce because it's not restoring the marriage.
Yeah.
So put in the comments if that's you. Now, I'm going to give you some advice on that one real quick. If you keep going down that road, you'll end up divorced forever. But that's not enough. You'll also, statistically, a 76% chance that you will repeat that same thing with the next woman. Well, Denver, I'll never get married again. I don't want anybody but that one. Guess what? Keep following that bullshit, and you will end up with the next woman.
100%.
And you'll end up doing the same thing with the next woman, and it's not working now, and it won't work then.
It's like a chain reaction.
Put that in the comments if that's you, especially on that one.
Yes.
37% of the students that we get in our program that we run called DivorceStoppers are doing that bullshit. And guess what? It doesn't work. That's why so many of our students come from that. Put in the comments if your wife has a boyfriend, if she's got another boo, and you're thinking it's not possible to restore the marriage because she's having a limerent, emotional, and or a sexual affair with her boyfriend, and you think that's an obstacle to the marriage. But in the DivorceStoppers program, what do we do with the boyfriends?
So we teach you how to use that partner, that boyfriend that she's in limerence with, to be a tool to renew your marriage.
So when we find out that there's a boyfriend, are we sad about that or are we happy about that?
Well, we're happy about it because there's an avenue to get around it, but it's disheartening for the person it works though.
So here's what she means. I'm always on cloud nine. I'm ecstatic about it.
I'm always like, this will work. It works.
Yeah, we will use. The Bible says what's intended for your harm, God wants to use for your good.
100%.
I show you how to use that boyfriend that's intended for your harm. I show you how to actually use that for your good. The reason she was not 100% ecstatic about it is because she's more concerned about your feelings because she's the heart in the relationship. And I see that heart. But guess what? I'm not so much concerned about how you're feeling if you want your marriage restored.
Yeah.
Right now, all of you watching this video, most likely you're aligning your actions with your feelings. And that's exactly what doesn't work. In the program, I teach you how to align your actions with what works, and the opposite of your feelings is always going to be what works.
And it's a process.
Now, what she's meaning is we know if there's a boyfriend, that's going to hurt your feelings. It's going to hurt your pride.
It's not feel
It's
well.
going to make you start feeling suicidal. But let me give you some hope in that area, okay? Right now, what's happening is you're the guy that's putting the pressure on your lover. You're putting the pressure on, and then she's going to this big freaking jerk.
She's running over there because it's
she's
a no-brainer and it feels better.
She's letting off steam with him.
Yeah.
What we'll do is we'll reverse those roles.
Yeah.
And we'll start making him a narcissist by rebuilding intimacy with you through your new communication that we teach you.
We teach you to be the better option, not him.
But we teach you how to communicate in the way that will rebuild intimacy with her by showing you how to make her feel heard, valued, and seen.
By not shoving it down her throat.
100%. And he doesn't know how to do that because he's not been trained on how to do that.
He doesn't have the tools.
You got it. So as you start rebuilding intimacy with her through your new communication that always works, he'll be threatened by that. When he's threatened, he'll sense it. He'll start putting pressure on her, and then I teach you how to be the pressure relief valve that she now feels comfortable letting off steam. So what we do is we position to make him the old you and make the new you somebody.
The safe place.
The safe place that she can connect to.
Yes.
So if it's you and she has a boyfriend, put that in the comments. If she don't have a boyfriend, guess what? 70% of the new students that come into the DivorceStoppers program, they find out that their wife has an emotional or a physical affair partner.
Yeah.
So for a lot of you, you think, oh, she would never do that. 7 out of 10 of you are wrong. She's already doing it.
Yes.
Put that in the comments if you think that's a possibility. But the fifth thing right now, how many of you feel like she literally doesn't care about you? We talked about that earlier.
Yes.
How many of you are in a relationship that's failing or that you think is failed? She's walked out the door and it just looks like she never cared. Like you feel like she never was in love with you from day one. Put that in the comments if that's you, because that certainly was me. So how do you make her mad? How do you ruin her story? How do you pique her interest? And how do you reestablish an open communication? That's the $1 million question. All right, number one, they teach us in the Army in the United States, which is where we're at. We're in our office in the United States today. For those of you that are new to the channel, we live and operate the company out of Puerto Rico. So today we're in the USA. And item number one is, what's the first thing we can do to accomplish all of this?
Be the best you.
So what does it mean to be the best you? So what are some things that you can do to be the best you? Okay, so you want to be positive, you want to be polite, you want to be playful. Right now, for the most part, concerning the relationship, concerning the communication that might have led you to not having communication, that might have led you to getting blocked, is you were walking in the 3 C's.
Yes.
So instead of the 3 P's, instead of doing positive, polite, and playful, you were doing condemning, you were doing complaining, and you were doing criticizing.
And all of that comes across as controlling and
Narcissistic.
and it just shoves her further from you.
So why are you doing condemning, complaining, and controlling? I did it. You know why I did it?
You felt desperate.
I felt desperate, but why was I doing it though?
You wanted me back.
Yeah, but the reason I was doing is I thought if I complained to her and said, "Don't you know the Bible says that
Yeah.
that if a woman leaves her husband, that she should return to him?"
Yes.
Does the Bible really say that? Yes, it does.
Yes.
But do you think that me condemning, complaining, and criticizing her, telling her the truth of the scriptures, helping her see the errors of her ways,
Shoves her with both feet out.
because it was putting pressure on her?
No one likes pressure.
Now, she didn't have a boyfriend.
No.
She was in that 3 out of 10 percentile, in the minority. But guess what? She, in a way, did have a boyfriend. Her boyfriend was her best friend in Little Rock, Arkansas. And every time I would do the 3 C's, she would run to her best friend to let off steam. I was the pressure cooker,
Yeah.
and her best friend was the pressure relief valve.
Yeah, and that's very normal. But
Guess-
that's the enemy of the marriage at that point.
That was the enemy of the marriage. So what was the enemy of the marriage? Her best friend. Her best friend just so happened to be sort of miserable at the time. And she was in
Newly divorced.
newly divorced.
Yeah.
So she was miserable because
Misery loves company.
she thought she was going to walk away in her divorce with millions of dollars, and she walked away with empty-handed and a tax bill and credit card bill.
Yeah.
So misery loves company. So if your wife has made a new friend that's a woman that's maybe been in failed relationship after failed relationship, maybe that woman's dressing a little provocative, the cleavage is showing a little bit, and she's got your wife showing her cleavage a little bit, saying, "Girl, we just got to get you back out there." Did your friend ever tell you, "Girl, we got to get you back out there"?
Probably, yeah.
Be honest, did she or not?
Sure.
Did you do that?
I didn't want anybody. I was happy to be alone, but I was in that percentile.
What were these transactions I was seeing on the bank statement that said Bar Louie? Anyway, positive, polite, playful.
I didn't say I wasn't going anywhere, but I was not looking for anyone else. I felt free.
You felt free.
Yes.
So what did I just tell you? I was the steam cooker. I was the pressure cooker, and the friend was the pressure relief valve where she was going to let off steam. And that friend was taking her to Bar Louie, where all these single loser guys was out there. Were they hitting on you?
Yeah.
So I was running the risk of my wife having an emotional or limerent affair partner. Now, she didn't do that.
I wasn't interested.
But in a way, she was having an emotional affair with the enemy of the marriage, which was another miserable woman that was also recently divorced, right?
Yeah.
So put in the comments that if that's you. Part of becoming the best you is to increase in your spice. One of the ways that you can become more attractive to your wife is number 1, be the best version of yourself. This means to increase in your spiritual. This is your spice. How do you smell to your creator? If you think your creator was the universe, you're really missing out because we worship the creator of creation, which we call God. Okay? So how do I smell to my creator? If you smell good to your creator, if your spicy aroma is good, if you're giving off a good spice, then you're going to smell good to your wife. What does spice stand for? Your spiritual attractiveness, your physical attractiveness, your intellectual, your character, and most importantly, your emotional attractiveness. What's one of the easiest things that a man can do to increase in those areas to fast track it?
Yeah, physical. You start with physical 100%.
100%. So how do you increase in the physical?
Get your ass in the gym.
Get in the gym. And so for some of
And
you...
then that will create curiosity. It might make her go, what is he up to? What's he trying to do? But with that, it will create curiosity and it will attract her in a new way if you're not already in the gym.
So what if you're thinking, well, Denver, why does it matter if I'm in the gym? Because she's not talking to me. She's blocked me.
Oh, she'll know. She'll know.
And here's how she's going to do. Number 2 is get happy. Well, Denver, I'm not happy. I'm laying home on the couch. I'm eating Cheetos and I'm depressed. That's aligning your actions with your feelings. Remember, I just said, if you want the marriage restored, you're going to have to start aligning your actions with your goals.
Which is discipline on your end.
You're going to have to get happy. The gym is going to help with that because it's going to release dopamines that your hypothalamus, and for a man, your testes will release testosterone. When a man gets in the gym and lifts weights, it's going to increase dopamine. It's going to increase endorphins. It's going to reach all kinds of good chemicals that are feel-good chemicals, natural. But it's not just enough to get happy. She's got to know that you're getting happy. So how do you do that? Well, first of all, let's talk about how do I get happy when I don't feel like I'm happy? This BS that you're told about, well, you can't control how you're feeling, bullshit. You absolutely can control how you're feeling. How do I do that? Well, I'm sitting here feeling bad. Right now, I'm consciously thinking about when I was at my mom's funeral, and it's really, really sad. It was a really horrible day for me. My mom died of Lou Gehrig's disease at age 52. It was one of the saddest things I ever went through because she shouldn't have died. She died so young, and it was very, very... So right now, I'm very sad. But all of a sudden, I'm going to say, I don't want to think that anymore. So I choose to remember when we took our grandsons, the oldest two grandsons, to Disney World for the first time. That was a very, very happy day. When they pulled up and they saw Mickey Mouse for the first time. Do you remember how happy that made us?
Oh, yeah.
To see them light up and they were jumping up and down?
Yeah.
I simply chose to think a different thought. Something else that you can do, look in the mirror and watch this. Right now, so I'm looking in the mirror at myself. I can see my reflection in this camera, and I'm going to tell myself what I used to tell myself frequently when I was working to restore my marriage. I am happy. I am happy. I am happy. We have some grandsons. We have how many grandsons? We have 6 grandsons. And we have one granddaughter. If they ever want to get into an argument or get in a good mood, I will just literally look at them and say it. And they'll look at us and
it changes their whole demeanor.
Yeah, they'll be pouting and they don't want to say it. And what do they say? They look right at us and I'm like, look me in the eye and say it.
Yeah.
I am happy. I am happy. And they know they got to smile when they're saying it.
And it makes them laugh.
And it literally makes them in a great mood again. It works for my grandsons. It works for our granddaughter.
Yeah.
It works for my wife. Sometimes I tell her, say it. Just kidding. Don't say it to your wife. But to your kids and yourself, say it to yourself. Look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm happy. Do it right now. Do it right now. Tell yourself right now. Say, I'm happy. Hold this. I am happy. I am happy. I am happy. And put in the comments if that instantly made you happy. Because the act of smiling releases dopamine and endorphins, and it literally alters your brain chemistry, and it makes you happy. So do that. Okay, I have never, in 11 years that we've been helping couples restore their marriages, ever seen a woman fulfill a divorce from a happy man. I've not seen it one single time. So if you want to save your marriage, you've got to get happy. But she's got to also know that you're happy. So how do we do that? Number 3 was get in the gym. That'll help you get happy. But guess what? She needs to know you're in the gym. How is she going to know that? Get your biceps bigger. That's the fastest thing that you can increase in size. Well, Denver, if she's not seeing me, how is she going to know my freaking biceps are bigger? Well, that leads me to number 4. Some of this is not going to make sense until the end of this, so pay attention. Number 4, if you want her to open up and start talking to you again, you've got to make her a little bit, starts with a J.
Jealous.
Got to make her a little bit jealous. So does that work? That seems like something high schoolers do.
It does sound like a high school thing to do.
Remember I started telling you about my girlfriend Kim in college. I don't know, we're married for 10 years, right? I haven't told you about this. My girlfriend Kim, which was about 6 inches taller than me, by the way. 6 inches. I had to look up to this girl to
kiss her.
To kiss her.
That's funny.
And she broke up with me because her ex-boyfriend from Mena, Arkansas, came back from the country. Anybody don't know where Mena, Arkansas is? That's where the Clintons was smuggling cocaine through there. But her ex-boyfriend showed up and she broke up with me. So I was trying to get her back. And I think it might have even worked. But I was trying to make her jealous. I did that my freshman year in college. So does that work in a marriage for us to act like we're college students?
It does if you don't overdo it so much that you look like a fool.
You got to do it the right way.
It's called creating curiosity. I don't even like the word jealous.
Yeah.
Because it sounds juvenile.
Yeah. It is a little bit juvenile, but the way that we make her jealous is the goal is to make her curious. So why am I using the word curious? Your marriage will never be restored unless she changes. And one of the ways that you can change her is right now, every thought she's having is about, I must get out of the marriage. I must get out of the relationship.
Yeah, it's like flight. I got to
Now,
get.
if she's blocked you, this is absolutely probably the most important thing I'm going to tell you in this video. And listen, this is very serious. And if you think this is stupid, try it at home. This is one of those things where they say, on TV, don't try this at home. Try this at home. A lot of you, put this in the comments if you're not a big Facebooker. If you're not a big social media, you don't post on Facebook. If we go to your Facebook page, do you have any posts? How many of you don't have a Facebook account? Please don't apply to come work with us if you don't have Facebook. You better have an active Facebook before you come, because
you don't get the full process of it all. It won't work.
Whatever, what are you talking about? I think Facebook hurts marriages. I think Facebook ruins marriages. Well, first of all, well, not only can it's 100% marriage killer. But this is what the Bible means when it says.
It restores it as well.
The Bible says what's intended for your harm, you can use for your good.
Yeah.
So what do we mean by that? Listen, if you want your wife to know that you're happy, then document the journey on Facebook. Get off your butt. Go make some new guy friends. Denver, I don't have any guy friends.
Just live. Just go live. Live your life.
One of the reasons your marriage has failed is because you don't have friends anymore. And 100% of the pressure for your happiness has been placed on these pretty shoulders.
Yeah.
So go get some guy friends.
She feels too responsible, and you don't need to put that on her. Because if you separate or are facing separation, she's going to feel even more responsible for like your happiness and your feelings. No, don't
So do you remember at the beginning of the video, I said if you want to restore the marriage, you got to make her mad, ruin her story, pique her interest, and open communication. Facebook will do all of those things. Facebook will do all those things.
Literally.
So how do we make her mad on Facebook?
You post. You just post your stuff.
Go live your life. If you're piled up on the couch eating Cheetos right now, watching YouTube videos, that's not going to restore the marriage. The way that we can use Facebook to restore the marriage is every single day you need to be posting that you're at the gym, that you're at a restaurant, that you're going to the movie theater, that you joined a new Toastmasters club on public speaking.
Yeah.
You're at the library.
Or when you have your kids, y'all go to the park. Like, you're living your life and you're enjoying it, and it's going to piss her off.
And by the way, don't do so. So something else too. We talked about curiosity makes her jealous, but what it really does, curiosity is level 1 of attraction. So that makes her attracted to you, number 1. But what curiosity also does, if your wife does in fact have confirmation bias is a neural pathway that we can see on an MRI or a CAT scan. If we put her under a brain imaging device and ask her questions about you and or the relationship, we can literally see the confirmation bias, the psychological process of that. We can see it biologically. And so this is what I say, your marriage will never be restored if she has confirmation bias unless you understand how to change her. Because as long as she's biologically running the psychology of those neural pathways, you can't rebuild neuroplasticity to get her to start thinking different thoughts about the marriage. She has to actually change too. You changing will not restore the marriage unless she changes when confirmation bias exists.
And it's because she'll reflect on, oh my gosh, what is my life going to look like? Because he's living his life still, and now I'm over here. I thought I was living mine, but now I'm over here starting to get depressed and sad. It makes her reflect on what you guys have, the legacy of your family, all the things.
And right now, put in the comments if you think she's reflecting on nothing. She's acting like she doesn't care.
She'll do that.
She doesn't, yeah.
Until you shift and do a pattern interrupt, and that's what we're talking about right now.
100%, yeah. When you start looking like you've been crazy on Facebook, but it's not just enough to get on Facebook. You want to start doing things that are so radically out of the norm for you.
Go do a marathon or something.
Yeah, do things that are radically different that you've never done before.
Yeah.
Well, different, I don't really know what you're talking about. kayaking, whitewater rafting, canoeing,
Take your
camping.
kids camping, like all that
Now,
stuff.
if you've already been doing all those things, then do something different.
Yep.
Maybe you're a big old brawly man from Tennessee and you've been trapping bears your whole life. Well, maybe some of those things, if those are normal for you, maybe you should take your kids and go get a facial. Go get a pedicure. Stuff that's radically different.
just shift it.
The old you would never do. Go do those things. But well, Denver, how's she going to know if I'm doing those things?
She'll know.
She's blocked me on Facebook.
Her friends will tell her.
First of all, that brings me to my point. You need to document everything you're doing on Facebook, but that's not enough. What you need to also do is start adding additional friends on Facebook. So go on Facebook and add. Facebook is really good about destroying marriages because they suggest friends that are bad for you and they're bad for your marriage. But we're going to use those bad friends for your good. So go on, just click friends, and Facebook's going to have like 7,000 people that they suggest that you add. So add 40 of them right now. Make sure 20 of the 40 are women. Make sure some of them are like in some semblance of attractiveness. And guess what? As you start living your life, you're having fun with your kids, you're having fun with your guy friends, you're in the gym, put on their hashtag or put in their comments on your Facebook post of you in the gym. I have a goal to gain 20 pounds in 30 days or lose 20 pounds in 30 days. Put all of that on Facebook, and every single post needs to look like this. I am happy, I am happy, I am happy. Crest white strips are your friend. Make sure your teeth are on point. If you have a missing tooth and it's right here, go get it fixed. Well, Denver, I don't have the money to get it fixed. Well, if you don't have money to get your tooth fixed, please never apply for our program because we only help people that can or able and willing to invest. But that's also why we do these free YouTube videos to help you restore the marriage. But it's not just enough to get on Facebook. You need to get on Facebook with a smile. You need to get on Facebook doing something radically different than you would normally do. For a lot of you, just living is radically different because right now you got your fat ass piled up on the couch. Get off the couch and go live.
Yes.
But also document it. It's not enough to go live. You've got to document it. Something else that Facebook really, really does though, when we said make her jealous, when you make her extremely curious. So right now she's not following you on Facebook. She's blocked you. You need to make sure that you go on your Facebook and make it public. Here's why. When her friends and or family members go tell her, hey, I don't know what James or Jacob or Isaac or Denver's doing on Facebook, but he's acting crazy. He's on there every single day. We've never seen him on Facebook in 5 years. Now all of a sudden he's on there. He's posting in the gym. He's posting he's at TGI Fridays. He's at the park. He's fishing. He's doing indoor skydiving. He booked a flight to Miami and went down there by himself. He's on South Beach. You know, all these different things that you could do. They're different. What'll happen is she'll unblock you so she can stalk you. Or she'll get her little hooker friend that she's hooking up with. That's a miserable hoochie going out with the enemy of...
Or your adult children, or your parents, her parents. It's not always the hooker friend. They're that too.
Yeah, the hooker parents.
Stop.
Is her mama into the marriage?
No.
Put that in the comments.
It's everybody just will collaborate together and go, wow, I know you can't see what he's doing, but this is where he's at. This is what this is what he's doing. So it's going to spark everybody's interest.
But it's doing two things.
And it's going to piss her off.
Yeah.
Hugely.
You're going to piss her off.
I was furious. I wanted to go.
I was out there like I'm canoeing. I'm parasailing. I'm in the gym.
Kill him.
I got a 10s unit getting a 4-pack that eventually became a 6-pack.
I wanted to kill him. No lie.
Why were you mad? Because I was happy.
Because you weren't doing any of that when we were married.
Yeah, I was a miserable mofo.
You were depressed.
I was depressed. I was miserable. I was in a bad marriage. I was trying to tell her to go fix herself so we could have a good time.
You didn't take me on dates anymore.
And she left an unhappy, miserable SOB. And then all of a sudden, I started ruining her story by getting on Facebook and showing the world that I am happy, I am happy, I am happy.
And boy,
it made her mad.
Make me mad.
But guess what? She wanted a divorce because I was so unhappy. But now all of a sudden, that's not true because I'm happy.
Yeah.
So what do we do with that? It made her mad. But what it also did, when you ruin somebody's story that has confirmation bias, if she's pissed off, she's processing that here. If she's curious about what the hell is this guy doing all of a sudden?
It's all the emotions for her because we have more feelings than you guys, but it creates all the emotions. She's going to be mad.
I'm glad that you said that because with the woman emotions, women think in emotions.
Yes.
So when a woman's having curiosity, which is level 1 of attractiveness, when she's pissed off because you're ruining her story, when she's curious about why you're doing all these new things, when she's having different thoughts about you that are not the same thoughts she's been having, confirming the bias why she can't be married to you, that's dissolving confirmation bias. And if you dissolve confirmation bias with enough time, it makes it so much easier for a marriage to be restored. When confirmation bias exists, you'll never have a restored marriage. Even if she second guessed it because she doesn't want to lose out on the finances and everything else that might come with the divorce.
Right.
If she did come back into the marriage, as long as confirmation bias is still activated, you guys will get separated again. Put that in the comments if you guys were separated, then you got back together, and then you're separated again. If that's where you're at, you're in the danger zone.
Yeah.
Like you are going to get an emotional and a legal divorce if you don't do something radically different. Now, we're going to tell you what you can do at the end of this video, what that is. But let's move on to the next step. If you're communicating via email or a court app, stop it. You cannot build intimacy on a court app, and you cannot build intimacy on an email.
That's like that's like treating it like a business.
It is.
And there's no intimacy being created.
And it enables her to be full to the freaking limit of pride and disrespect
and
for you.
It's like she's emailing her boss that she doesn't like.
It means she doesn't respect you.
Yeah.
Put that in the comments if right now your wife has zero respect for you.
Yeah.
Because we're going to do other videos to teach you how to do that if we get enough comments in that particular area. Right?
Well, and it's a big deal. And when the guys say, well, she'll only email me now, we're like, don't do that. You got to shift out of that.
But Denver, the court said I can only email her. I can only do it on the court app. You know what? Let me tell you this. In 11 years we've been helping students, I have never seen one man go to jail for a contempt of court because he texts his wife, hey, boo, the court app is not working on my phone. I have no choice but to communicate via text message.
Right. I'm picking the kids up this weekend or, whatever.
So if you guys are talking about the kids, do you know how many men we have helped restore their marriages fully, F-U-L-L-Y, by only talking about logistic stuff, talking about the bills, talking about the mortgage, and talking about the kids. You 100% can make a woman feel good by making her feel heard, valued, and seen by talking about logistical things or your children. I did it with her by talking about Airbnb.
And it's true because we have businesses together. But when he stopped talking serious talk with me, that's when I let my guard down and I would actually text him. Because I would not answer a phone call.
Yep.
I would not.
When I stopped trying to make it about the marriage is when she opened up.
I finally felt calm because you gave me anxiety. Like I wanted to get away from you.
Yeah, that's true. But true or false? You blocked me.
Yeah.
And she only unblocked me. So after our marriage got back restored and we talked about what worked and what didn't, and we actually incorporated it in this version of the program.
Yeah.
She would have never unblocked me on our iPhone if I hadn't have got out there and said, I am happy, I am happy, I am happy. I started going to movies by myself. I kindled some relationships with some guy friends that I had let go of those relationships. I started going to church. I started going to Bible study group. I made new guy friends. I started going deep sea fishing. I started going canoeing. I started flying to New York by myself. And rekindling some relationships there with other friends.
Yes.
I started living. I got back on airplanes. I started doing indoor skydiving.
But I will tell you, when I unblocked
got in the gym. I got my biceps bigger. Yeah, go ahead.
But when I unblocked you, because I was curious.
Were you stalking me on Facebook before you started talking to me?
Yes. But when I unblocked.
Why? So they know. They need to hear that.
Because I was curious.
Curious is level 1 of attraction. And when a woman is curious, when she's having thoughts of curiosity, the human brain cannot actively think. So here's a test right here. Right now, think of a polar bear. Okay, now think of a goldfish. All right, ready for the third lesson? Think of them both at the same time. It's not possible unless you have the goldfish swimming below the polar bear. The point I'm making is the human brain can't consciously process two active thoughts at the same time. So when a woman has been running the neural pathways of confirmation bias, why I can't be married to this narcissist, why I could never go back to him, everything you do. See, right now, a lot of you think, well, if I do all these things right, the marriage can be restored. But when confirmation bias is activated, for her, it's not about all the things you're doing right. It's about the one thing you're doing
wrong.
And guess what? You can do everything right for a month, and you think, oh, it's going great.
And you screw up one time,
4 weeks.
And she's like, see?
Bam!
I knew it.
The divorce is back on like what?
Donkey Kong.
Back on like Donkey Kong. So, but if you're making her curious, she processes curiosity over here.
And listen, it's once she unblocks you, if you are blocked, no serious talk. Even if you're not blocked, no serious talk. She will gravitate towards you because that's attractive.
Yeah, don't come on too strong.
You feel safe.
Yeah.
But if you attack her and come on so strong that she feels like, oh my gosh, I need a freaking Xanax or a pill.
Stop needing the marriage. Stop needing to move back in together.
It's attractive.
Hang out, have fun, hook up.
Do not be needy. That is the key to this whole thing.
Yeah. Rekindle the friendship.
Yeah.
Your goal is positive, polite, and playful, but that's not enough. You also have to make her feel heard, valued, and seen. How do you do that? When she expresses negative feelings, agree with the negative feelings, and put a good name on the negative feelings by explaining why you agree with the negative feelings.
And don't defend yourself ever. Ever, ever, ever.
But
because she'll block you.
I want to make something very clear. I said agree with the negative feelings and explain why you agree with the negative feelings. I did not say agree with what she wants you to do.
No.
That's two different things.
100%.
100%.
But we teach that in this course.
All right, so how do I get off the court app if that's me? Just start text message. And guess what? If the court gets you in trouble, maybe a $25 fine. Worst case scenario, if the judge hates you, maybe you'll spend 4 hours in a freaking jail cell. Who cares?
We didn't go through
You
that,
will
but-
not restore the marriage on a court app or email. Get off of it. Get off of it. And the sixth thing that you can do is in a line with positive, polite, and playful, and we've already mentioned this a little bit, okay? So you've got to document the journey on Facebook. You got to document. Do not forget, one of the most important things I'm telling you in this video, I know for a fact that 46% of our new students, when they come into our community, their Facebooks are private. This is not a time to have a private Facebook. She will block you off and on. She will try to have her friends stalking you. She'll stalk you. Her mama will stalk you. And if they're not friends with you, they can't stalk you if your Facebook is set to private. Okay? So make your Facebook public, and anything that you're posting on your Facebook, Bible scriptures about marriage and intimacy, or all these posts about if they ever really loved you, any of that BS drama, that if you'll read those posts from her perspective, you're posting that because your goal is to get her to see the error of her ways. Ask me how I know that shit didn't work. Did it?
It was so gross. It was so gross.
It was gross. It was disgusting.
I don't even.
Why was it gross?
I don't normally say gross.
Why was it gross?
It was
because it made her feel. I was publicly
humiliating,
condemning, complaining, and criticizing. And my goal, honestly, I had a good heart about it.
Yeah.
But my goal really,
it's acting desperate. Do not.
I was
do that
aligning.
because it's desperate.
I was aligning my actions with my feelings.
Yeah.
You want the marriage restored or don't you?
Yeah.
Align your actions with your goals, not your feelings.
Very masculine.
So how do I align my actions with my goals? All the stuff I told you to do, to go live your life, document it, and make sure that your Facebook is public so that she can see it. Well, Denver, she's not looking at my Facebook.
Yes, she is.
Her friends and family are. And you start doing this stuff, she'll start stalking.
And she'll get someone else's phone, even if she doesn't unblock you at that moment.
Yeah.
She'll have a girlfriend over for wine one night, or
they're going to stalk
go
you.
to dinner, and they'll go, hey, look at this. she'll see it.
Put in the comments if it's been in the back of your mind, like you think she's stalking you. Hey, do me a favor. Put in the comments. This is what I used to do. I would go to Facebook Messenger because I could see when she was online, and that's when I would know it was time to make my post. Because I knew when she was online, she would be stalking my post. And I made sure that she could do that. Okay, so positive, polite, and playful. But positive, polite, and playful is not enough.
No.
You've got to make her feel heard, valued, and seen. Well, Denver, how do I make her feel heard, valued, and seen?
I'll step in.
Slow down on text messages. When she texts you, don't just immediately respond. Go ahead.
We call it slow down to speed up.
Slow down to speed up.
And don't be emotionally reactive, and let her feel heard, valued, and seen. And if she's having a bad day, let her just vent to you and just be there, the safe place. That's key to it all.
So, and if she comes at you like white on rice, just attacking you.
Do not.
So, we can even say.
I did that so much. And when you stayed calm and we would get off the phone, I was like, huh.
But before that, sometimes she would act like a psycho bitch.
That's what I'm saying.
And in the beginning, what I did that contributed to her going to the courthouse and filing for a divorce.
He'd go crazy. Try to fix it, then go crazy on me, and then I would hang up or just not respond.
I responded in my feelings when she triggered me, and she calls that me. When she started acting like a bitch, she said I would start acting like a what? A little what?
Bitch.
And when I started acting like a little bitch. So stop acting like a little bitch.
It's just emotional reactivity.
What do I mean by that? Align your actions with your feelings. So when she has a bitch fit, you don't have a bitch fit back.
Be supportive.
You need to be.
Because then she can't argue back with that.
Okay, yeah, because when you act like a bitch, that's you pivoting into the feminine. Well, when you're in the feminine, she's going to be in the masculine.
If she throws a fit, just say, honey, I understand. I understand.
Put in the comments if your wife's communicating in the masculine, and after watching this video, you know you've been communicating in the feminine because you're speaking what you're feeling. I want my marriage restored so much, and if she just knew how much I loved her, and you're acting like that, which making you look like a weak bitch. So how do you communicate in the masculine? Fewer words. Don't be emotionally reactive.
No.
No matter what she does, be the 20-pound bottle of Valium that can't be phased.
Yeah.
You're just the cool guy. You're positive, polite, and playful. But that's not enough. How do you make her feel heard, valued, and seen? If she says, I, you don't come back and say, I too. You actually read her text message and stop saying, oh my God, she texts me. I must respond immediately so she'll know how much I love her. You're communicating.
Pause.
You're communicating in the feminine. I guarantee it 100% of the time. How many of you would benefit? So only for our subscribers, if you're not subscribed to this channel, you will never get this from us, because we expect something in return from you. But how many of my subscribers would appreciate it if we would do a communication training on YouTube where we could look at some of your text messages and teach you how you're responding in your feelings in the feminine, which is keeping her acting in the masculine. And you'll never have intimacy with that. You'll never make her feel heard, valued, and seen. You'll never be the pressure relief valve where she feels safe coming to let off steam. She believes the grass is greener on the other side because you're putting pressure on her and shoving her to that side of the yard, to the other yard. What were you going to say on that?
Well, whether it's with another man or it's just alone.
Or a hoochie enemy of the marriage. A hooker.
She'll just, please stop with that.
What? Most of the time it's some hoochie hooker out hoeing around. It is, a lot of times. Push-up bra, lipstick too much, taking you to Bar Louie.
So staying in your masculine is more attractive to her. Don't pivot from that.
So what are some masculine traits from a woman's perspective? Like when I'm talking to you, when we were going through this, in the beginning, I was acting like a little bitch. I was communicating in the feminine. When I made the pivot, explain to them from a woman's perspective, what is communicating in the masculine?
Staying calm, connected, and not emotionally reactive.
What's the definition of connected? Give us an example of connected. So when you would send me a text message in the beginning of this that pushed you to the point to file a divorce, would you say I wasn't connecting with you?
No, you were acting desperate and pushing me out the door.
Put in the comments if you're desperate right now. Desperate is
Unattractive.
why? Because it's telling her, hey, the only woman in the whole world that doesn't want to be with me is her, and she's the only woman I want. I'm too blind to see that the world is full of beautiful women that actually would give anything to be with a man like me. So what you're confirming to her, when you're in a separation and you're facing divorce, what she's done in her eyes is rolled the trash to the curb. How many of you feel like you've been discarded like trash? Put that in the comments. Because in a way, that's the way she's perceiving you. She's perceiving you as a low-value man that literally thinks no other woman wants him. All right, so what are some things that make a man appear desperate?
Too much communication.
Yep.
Begging, pleading, crying, showing up at the house, sending flowers. Don't do any of that.
What about saying happy anniversary, happy Valentine's Day, happy Mother's Day?
No.
Is that thing going to make you feel special if I say that when you're wanting a divorce with me?
No.
But what's going to create curiosity for Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, Hanukkah, Christmas, Easter? If you're wanting a divorce from me, what's going to create curiosity around those holidays?
If you're not all up in my face and you're living.
Would it create curiosity if I go hunt Easter eggs or I go have Valentine's dinner with somebody else and I don't even tell you happy any of those things? I don't send you flowers. I don't send you a card. I don't even send you anything.
This is what it does, what you're talking about.
Yep.
It creates a sense of urgency on her end. And yeah, it makes her mad, but it also creates a sense of urgency it makes her feel
Yeah.
that, wow, this is what this looks like for me to be without him, period.
If you do what? Don't do those things, or if you do them?
No, if you don't do those things.
So they shouldn't do those things.
No.
100%, all of this stuff.
You feel like you want to.
You're still talking to her like she's your wife. And if you do that, what her subconscious, what it does is it confirms the confirmation bias.
Yeah.
He's still the selfish, narcissistic pig that only wants what he wants, and he doesn't care what I want, and it doesn't make me feel heard, valued, and seen as a woman. So if you send me a text message about whatever, you went and you took the kids, blah, 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 all these different things, for me just to say, okay, and I make it about me. But if I actually take the time to read that text message and actually look at the words and look for opportunities to see the words that she sent me, how can I respond in a way that makes it feel like to her, I read the message? I'm not just responding with filler words, okay? I'm not just saying I appreciate you. I'm saying I appreciate you for XYZ, for this specific action. Make her feel like you read the message because you see her. This will make her feel heard, valued, and seen if you're doing it the right way. Now,
And without writing novels.
Yep.
Do not write too many words.
Every text message-
Hit the point that you're getting to. Respond to her, what she said, and keep it short.
put in the comments if you want she and I to do a live text message training. Now, this is only for our subscribers. If you're not already subscribed to our channel and you're trying to save your marriage, you better freaking do it right now, but you'll miss the subscriber content if you don't also press that bell notification button and change the settings to all. But listen to me. Text messages, if you'll go back right now after this video, and I want you to look at screenshots or scroll up with your text messages between you and your wife. And I want you to look at this. Are her text messages short and yours are 5 pages long? A short text message in itself, if you just look at that, the way it psychologically looks to the woman is psychology. Have you ever heard the saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words? When she sees the communication and she's giving you 1 to 3 liners and you're giving her 4 paragraphs, it looks like...
It's overwhelming.
But it's more than that. Psychologically,
Yes.
it tells her you're not emotionally safe. And for a woman,
She thinks you're crazy. Literally.
But it also subconsciously tells her that you're not physically safe because a woman processes emotional safety in the exact same part of the brain she processes physical safety. What it also does is it makes you look feminine. look at your text messages and see if it looks like you're acting like a little feminine bitch, and see if she's communicating the way a man would communicate.
It appears weak.
So how do you reverse those roles? You should never send a text message more than 3 lines. Every single text message should implement the fact that a picture is worth 1,000 words. All of your text messages should contain emojis. 3-liners. Never do two text messages back to back. It looks desperate, weak, and feminine. And always include emojis.
Yeah.
Also, always respond to what she's actually saying. And stop making it about you.
Don't dance around it.
Make it about her.
Make it effective.
How many of you are looking at your text messages and you're seeing that she will communicate in the feminine,
Yeah.
and she'll address 6 topics in one of her message, and then you respond with 6 topics? Listen, if you were her girlfriend, that would be okay.
That would be great.
It would be okay. But if you want to create curiosity, when she sends you 6 topics, you should only respond to 1. Well, what will that do? If it's really important to her, it will keep her engaged in communication, and she'll come back and ask about it again. You should never do that today, and you should never even do that, honestly, once your marriage is restored. So listen to me. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, you're going to miss out. Do it now. Change the settings to all. But if you know that you're facing an unwanted divorce or separation forever, right now my video editor is putting up on the screen. If you know that you're facing a divorce, your wife has a boyfriend, there's no communication, you feel hopeless, you've been talking to people that don't know what the hell that they're talking about. You're talking to your brother, you're talking to your mama, you're talking to your preacher, you're talking to your friends, and they're all telling you, if you love her, let her go. Bro, move on. Get out of it. She's not doing you right. She's cheating, once a cheater, always a cheater. They're talking bad about your wife. They're trying to enroll you to get out of it. Guess what? How many of those have ever been in your shoes and navigated a failed relationship to go where you want to go? None of them.
Well, and if they have, they're living with regret. I can tell you this.
Yeah, and the reason that they're doing that, because what we're teaching here, it works.
Yes.
But it is not common sense.
It's not normal.
It is not normal to restore a marriage when a woman has confirmation bias, unless you follow my channel. And for a lot of you, if she has confirmation bias, listen to me. Listen to me. You will never restore the marriage just watching YouTube videos.
No.
The majority of you watching this, she doesn't have confirmation bias. Keep watching these videos. Subscribe to the channel. Press the bell notification. Make sure and show up for the live trainings that we're doing for our subscribers only. Stop watching the YouTube videos and do something that's going to give you a transformation. If you know you're facing an unwanted divorce or separation and your clock is ticking, the first thing that you can do is scan the QR code on this side or go to denvergriffin.com/call, C-A-L-L. Book a call with us right now to apply for the DivorceStoppers program if you know that you need it. Now listen to me. Those spots fill up fast, so you better pause the video, go register for an application call with us right now, and then after you do that, come back and also register for the free Marriage U-Turn Masterclass that we're doing live this week only. And the website to do that, there's a QR code for that, but you can also do that at denvergriffin.com/masterclass. If you're certain that you're dealing with confirmation bias, I hope you just booked a call with us. But something else that you can do until your call, click the next video that my editor's putting up at the end of the screen. It's called How to Dissolve Confirmation Bias.